I spoke to a member of the Al Assad family. Before we go to that interview, let me just explain where Ribal Al Assad fits in. He's the estranged cousin of the Syrian leader and has been living in exile since 1984. Now, his father, former military general Rifat Al Assad, fled the country after a power struggle with his brother, the then President Hafez Al Assad. But Rifat also went into exile and claims he spearheaded what was a bloody crackdown of the Syrian city of Hama in 1982. Allegations he's always dismissed, I've got to say, as a smear campaign by the Syrian government. When I last spoke to his son Ribal in June, he reiterated those denials and was campaigning British and American leaders to include his father in negotiations to solve the Syrian crisis. He continues to call for regime change, but today he did acknowledge that his cousin does appear to be making concessions. Have a listen to this.
I welcome the proposition made by the Russians about Syria giving up their chemical weapons, and I would welcome all countries, actually. The whole Middle East and other countries should be free of chemical or biological or nuclear weapons. And I think this is a good time to do that and have Syria free of those arms, because we don't know in whose hands they could fall.
Do you truly believe that your cousin, Bashar al-Assad, is prepared to give up his cache, and many people say it's one of the biggest in the world, of chemical weapons at this stage?
I think that he should, and today...
I'm not asking you whether he should, I'm asking you whether
he should, and that he would, and of course he would, because he feels under pressure, not only from the international community or, what they call as their adversaries, but also from his friends, from Russia, who came out with this plan, and who came out with this proposition. So I think that he would do it. I think he would do it, as I told you, because there's increasing pressure on him. There are, U.S. ships in the Mediterranean, and this could lead to a war that neither him or anyone would be able to foresee.
There are those who say that if the U.S. had gone in, hit them hard, that would have been a moment in time. The momentum now, to a certain extent, has been lost, and critics of Obama, who might have wanted to see military activity in Syria, say that Bashar al-Assad is, to a certain extent, gaining ground here. What do you think?
It would have been a disaster, the greatest disaster, I think, in modern history, if the United States would have attacked Syria. We have to also know that, from my own perspective, I don't think that the Syrian regime did it. Why? For the following reasons, is that the Syrian regime was gaining ground.
This is a chemical weapons attack on August 21st.
Exactly, on August 21st. The Syrian regime was gaining ground, He had allowed the United Nations investigation team to arrive, and they had just arrived on Sunday. The attack took place on Wednesday. It just doesn't make sense. Also, we have to know that both sides have the capabilities to doing to carrying such attacks. The United Nations report a few months ago said very clearly that the rebels could have used chemical weapons in, for example, Khan al-Assad in Aleppo and other places. 12 members of al-Nusra were arrested in southern Turkey, in Adana and Murcia, in possession of 2 kilograms of sarin gas.
With respect, you failed to help build a credible opposition that perhaps the West could back in Syria.
Becky, first, let's not say that I failed. We were not given the chance.
There is no coalition that the West can back. That's the problem.
It's true, because when you do first a conference in Turkey and invite only the Muslim Brotherhood, and don't take into account that there are many other democratic groups who would like to participate or who should participate. When you do another one, it took Ms. Clinton 18 months to say and to announce that the SNC, the Syrian National Council, did not represent the Syrian people. 18 months, there was, thousands and thousands of deaths. And then they went to Qatar, to another undemocratic countries, and have another conference, and they brought only the people that they wanted.
Is your dad up for getting involved in Syrian politics again? Just yes or no?
I mean, I cannot speak for my father, I can speak for myself. I would like, personally, to see a certain role where my father and I said many other people, who have supporters on the ground, general support, they should play a transitional role, because they should appease and make at ease all people who do not, who of course want to change that regime, but don't want to have Islamists.
But regime change isn't what everybody's going for at this point, is it?
It doesn't.
Even if we're looking at a political solution going forward down the road.
It has to be peaceful transitional change. It cannot be any other way. It has to be a political, peaceful solution.
You and I spoke about 6 months ago. Are you more or less optimistic today about the future for Syria?
Of course, I'm not optimistic because we're not seeing anything on any proofs or anything that could make you feel, optimistic. I'm very pessimistic.
What, concessions from your cousin?
It is
the fact that he'll give up his chemical weapons.
Yes, but still,
talking to the international community.
He said he's going to give them up, but at the same time, we hear also that the opposition, the rebels, have just received, weapons from Western countries and the United States. So it doesn't look like one side or both sides are willing to give up backing one side or another militarily.